Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Thanks for tuning in yet again. Tonight's movie, Pacific Rim Uprising, which is the second installment of the Pacific Rim series. And let me first start off by saying, originally when I was watching, before I was doing reviews, still in the movies, just not sharing them, I saw Pacific Rim and I thought it kind of looked like dumb. You know, the previews. I was like, guys getting robots and they fight monsters. It's like Godzilla meets Wonder Cats or whatever that was. Anyway, and my friend at work said you should check it out. It's actually a really good film, and I watched it, and it was really good. I really enjoyed Pacific Rim, so I have high expectations for this. Although sequels are not normally better than the original or even nearly as good, and we've seen history of that. So, 43% Rotten Tomatoes from the critics, 47% from the audience, and IMDb only has it at a 5.9. But essentially, in this, if you haven't seen Pacific Rim, these monsters, they're alien monsters that come on to Earth through a breach or some sort, and they're attacking the cities. And in the first one, they kill them off, but the main star of the movie takes himself out and saves the world. Well, now his son, I believe, is now going to help with a new breach or a new list of monsters. This includes John Boyega from Star Wars, Scott Eastwood, who I like. He's in a lot of different things lately. He's Clint Eastwood's son. So, it also has Charlie Day in it and some other actors and actresses. So, I don't know. I'm kind of excited for it. We'll see where it takes us, and I'll let you know if it's any good. So stick around. All right. See ya. Hey everybody. Time for a quick check-in. Pacific Rim Uprising. We are at the 53-minute and 34-second mark. One thing I want to quickly talk about here is Idris Elba. He played in the original one, if I'm saying his name correctly, and his son is Boyega in this one. So it's basically Boyega is kind of more of a rebel. He was in the the Jaegers, I guess, as a corporal, or I'm sorry, as a cadet. And him and Scott Eastwood were together, but he had left that, and he seems like he's more of a pirate kind of thing, living on an island that is, not developed. It's still run down from the 10 years ago when this all happened. And he's like, stealing stuff and trading and doing that kind of thing. More of a pirate type thing. But he's stealing Jaeger parts to sell to people so that they could build their own Jaegers, and he makes money that way. Well, he runs into a little girl who built her own. I think she's 15 years old. And she built her own little Jaeger, which is those robots. Well, they eventually get caught by the actual government, and they are essentially forced to rejoin the Jaeger cadets and stuff like that. So that's how it all starts. And they're trying to make sure that they're prepared in case any of these monsters come back from the other outer space or wherever they came from. So he's working now with Scott Eastwood to help train these younger cadets so that they could become Jaeger pilots. And that's the whole basis of the first half of the movie. And you're watching it, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, man, it's fun. It's definitely a fun movie. And I was like, this is why I really like the first one, I think, because it is kind of fun. It kind of I don't know, gives you the sense of Transformers. Big fan of Transformers because of the way the robots look, and a little military involvement and stuff like that. So all that's going well, and they're developing a storyline, and you can kind of think that the monsters have to come back somehow, some way. But I think that's the part, that is where we just got at the 53-second mark. The threat has now been shown to us. Prior to that, Charlie Day is also, he was a scientist, he was in the first one too. I don't think it's a spoiler alert. I'll give it to you though. He's hanging out with like a brain. So there's a brain in his apartment and stuff like that, and he's hanging out with that. So it's that jumped out really quick to me on real weird. And now they're finding another brain that was piloting another rogue Jaeger. So I think, if again, not to spoil it, I won't spoil the end or anything like that, but just to give you an idea, I think that's probably where the low scores are going to come from. That's why IMDb has it low, Rotten Tomatoes, whatever, because of this, I think. That's why I stopped it here, because that was interesting to me to see now they have these brains piloting these things and making a presence in this movie. So I don't know where it'll go from here. Up until this point, it has been fun, adventurous. I was enjoying it. I like Boyega. I think it's neat to see him different than he is in Star Wars. And even when he has his hair slightly different, he looks, he doesn't look like Finn. I like it so far. And I liked what he was doing. He's got an accent and everything like that. So I was enjoying that up until about now. Not that I'm not enjoying it, but I could see it might be going south with this, bringing in these brains. But anyway, won't ramble on. I'll get into it, watch a little bit more, and see if maybe it does ruin the movie, or if it stays good and fun. So I'll be back. Stick around. Hey everybody, welcome back. We're at the credits of Pacific Rim Uprising, and I have to say, I could see why the scores are low. Okay, if you like Pacific Rim, the first one, and you really enjoyed it, and you're kind of like loyal to it, I think is maybe the term, you're not gonna like this. Okay, this has a total different feel than the first one, and it seems like it is geared a little bit more. The 15-year-old girl who's in it, I think she's 15, whatever. It's geared to more kids in a sense, I think, by making her one of the main characters. But I think that's okay. I think for you to enjoy this movie, if you did see the first one, and the first one was really good, you have to break away from the fact that this is that sequel. You know what I mean? And not expect a clear handoff from that one to this one. And really think of them as two separate movies that involve the same, somewhat of the surroundings, I guess. So there are the Jaegers are in this one. A little bit of the monsters as well, but they try and change it. Instead of just having monsters coming in and attacking Earth, which was the first one, they try and create a new plot so that they can continue to do that and have Jaegers, have pilots pilot the Jaegers and fight something. And how do they develop that? So they tried to create a different idea to create a sequel. Understandable, you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. But again, the tone of this one is completely different than the first one. But I still enjoyed it. I still think it's a fun movie if you can separate yourself. If you're like me, I only saw Pacific Rim once, and I knew in my head I really enjoyed that movie, but I really forgot a lot about it. I haven't ever seen it again since the time it appeared in 2013 when I first saw it, and I knew I liked it. And then I watched this one, and I had fun with it. It wasn't nearly as good as the first one, but it's still fun, I think. I think they did a pretty good job. Like I said, I like Boyega. I thought he did a great job in this, because I only see him as the Star Wars guy, and now I don't. So overall, again, decent film. Not as bad as people are laying it out to be, but I can understand for those of you who are truest or loyalists to the original Pacific Rim, and you think this is a sequel and should be somewhat good. It's not like that, and I agree with that. But if you take the film for itself and the fun aspect of it, I think it's okay. I would give it probably a 6 or a 7. I wouldn't think it's any much better than that, but fun action movie to watch, sci-fi, as long as you can separate from the first one. So there you go. That's my take on it. Let me know what you think. Love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.
Thank you.